I had to rewire myself fully to get into this state. Feeling calm, that's the goal. And that's what we do. And then they start to get opportunities. They start to take opportunities and they really start to live like they should be. Most people work with what they already know, but what they already know brought them to this point. You need to get deeper into who am I, what moves me, what is holding me back. That's where I rewire until they do what they need to do, say what they need to say, be who they really are. That's how you unlock your potential.
Okay, Suroesh, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me something about you. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm a hypnotist for entrepreneurs, and especially for entrepreneurs that are operating on a higher level. And in short, I help them to rewire their subconscious mind. What that exactly is, I will explain in a bit. But I've been doing this for the last 5 years now. And at this moment, I do this mostly online. I'm working with several countries, like entrepreneurs that are from different countries, different areas of the world. Dutch people, English people, Spanish people, Argentinian, Estonian, English, and yeah, and even Switzerland, Italy. So they are from everywhere.
Lots of countries.
Yes.
So you've been doing this for almost 5 years, more than 5 years. How did you end up doing this? Like, no one is like, it's not a common job to do.
Yeah. Well, most people could think I applied for this. Like, there are many people that are like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? So I start to become a coach, for example, which is totally fine. With me, it went a bit different. I did coaching when I was 22 years old. I started, and that was because one of my mentors said, like, I believe you're good in coaching people, so you should start doing this. And I
what
started.
type of coaching was this?
This is mental coaching. Yeah. So I started doing that. I noticed some results, but I found that after like 8 or 10 sessions, real good results start to like show itself.
Do you have an example?
Yeah, for example, woman came, man came, and then they were very insecure and they didn't make certain choices because of insecurity, or they didn't feel like peaceful, so they were always searching for the next best thing.
So a man came.
Yeah, woman came. Insecurity, limiting beliefs. They didn't start that new thing that they want to start, or they were always in relationships they didn't want to be. And so then I looked at the underlying problem and solved it with them. But it took a while because I work with the conscious mind more than the subconscious mind. And so when I was with a friend, I noticed that he told me something about hypnosis. I'm like, what is that? Like woo-woo stuff. And then I didn't do anything with it. And it came like in front of my face like 3-4 times until one day someone told me, like, do you realize that Tony Robbins on stage with an event that I literally attended twice does hypnosis? I'm like, no. And he said, like, this is why people come with a 10-year-old problem or 15, and then Tony Robbins changes it in like 1 hour because he works with the subconscious mind. And I was like, okay, I'm hooked. And so I studied it online. I started doing it. I asked my Instagram followers, hey, who wants to have a hypnosis? And I'm practicing, so who wants a hypnosis? And it was like 47 euros, and I will give most of it to a charity. And so I did that, and 25 people applied. And then a lot of sessions that I noticed, like, I never want to work with certain people again. Sorry, but that was so intense.
Why?
They shared their whole life story in one session. They literally were like, okay, let's do it all in one session. Of course, there's a lot possible, but that was too much. And so what I did was I learned what kind of clients I liked, what kind of problems I like to solve, and also how hypnosis worked. And then there were a few good results, and a few of them, they needed more. I said, like, and then probably better to go somewhere else to take a
What
little
do you
more.
mean we needed more?
Yeah, they noticed that their challenges were like very intense and hard.
More for
And
psychiatrists.
yeah, you need like, and they were like mentally in a very bad place.
Yeah.
So I either had to give them more sessions, but I was just starting. So I was like, okay, I noticed this and that. I would exactly go to someone else now for a longer period of time. And I remember one story. There's the girlfriend of a quite famous DJ actually. And then she had a fear of flying. And I remember
That's
that
a hard time with a DJ as a boyfriend.
Very. So she said, and like I have to fly 8 times through America for his tour. And she said, I had she had like an experience with taking a jab and it went wrong. So she ran out of the place with fear because she was really, really full of fear. So that's one experience in a small, like, how do you say, in a small area, like, and she became claustrophobic. And so another thing was that if she was about to fly, she took medicine, the medicine that calms you down, but she took so much that she was like knocked out. And she felt always very, very, very low in energy, and she didn't want to take any medicine anymore. So she said to me, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so she came and I gave her 2 sessions in 4 weeks.
Did you already knew on that moment that you could help, or did you like
50-50?
Okay, yeah.
So I told her like, hey, I'm gonna do my best. I cannot promise anything, but my price, I actually doubled my price because this was more. So I asked twice as much because I was like, this is gonna be a challenge. And she was like, okay, I'm down to do it. And so we did it. And then within 2 sessions, her fear of flying, claustrophobic feeling was gone.
That's crazy.
Yes. And then she texted me a WhatsApp message that's super long. And she said, I can't believe this, because she had panic attacks while her friend was playing a gig, for example, in Curaçao, I remember. And then he had to stop his gig, go to her to calm her down.
While DJing.
So he had to stop his set. So she's like, I don't want to ever have to do that.
Yeah.
And then after 2 sessions, she had 8 flights without any problem, no medicine. She felt amazing, no panic attacks.
That's a big win.
Yeah. So I was like, this works. And then from there, I never did it, not full time. And it's like 5+ years ago.
Okay, but basic concept of hypnosis, like most people think it's kind of magic, superstitious. Yeah. What is it?
Very easy. We have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. Conscious mind is your rational mind, to keep it super easy. And you make choices. Like, hey, I want you to consciously choose between A or B. You think about it, you make a choice. But most of the day, you don't think about every choice. It's an automatic program. Brushing your teeth, showering, putting clothes on. You go very fast because you know what you like. It's in your subconscious mind. And you know what you want to choose already. You're just taking a few seconds to pick. And then also, you know how to do your work, right? You know how to, you're a master in psychology. Well. Exactly. If I ask you like, hey, do you know what's important in behavior? A few seconds and you know it. That's your subconscious mind. And that's like 95%. Driving is a good one. You don't need to think about it. In the beginning, you have to, and then it becomes like a skill. Exactly. And the subconscious mind is where I work with. Your beliefs are there, your values are there, your body, mind-body connection. It's your mind sends a signal to your body, and your body feels something, yes, but they work together, and it comes from your subconscious mind. So also your whole system is automated, and also your breath is automated, but you can become aware of it, and then it goes on subconsciously. An unconscious mind, by the way, is you cannot get there. Some things are in the unconscious mind, you cannot get there.
And what's the difference with the subconscious and the unconscious mind?
Subconscious, you can get there through questions or through a certain state. But the unconscious mind is literally, you're not aware of it anymore. And from what I've learned, it keeps you safe, and also it's better to sometimes not remember certain things, you know. But it's a part of us that we cannot get to, but it is there. So experts say there's an unconscious mind, but the subconscious mind, you can work with it.
So what do you do with the subconscious mind?
With the subconscious mind, what I do is, for example, if you have a limiting belief, or you find it hard to make more money, or you have a lot of stress, or you can never switch off. Most entrepreneurs can never switch off. They're very good in what they do, very skilled, but they have a hard time like managing themselves, their emotions, self-mastery. And so with the subconscious mind, I change how they feel, because the subconscious mind has emotions and also stores memories. And so memories also like are charged with emotions. So we change certain memories, because if you have
they make the belief that you have about certain things, right?
Exactly. I don't change the belief, I change the underlying feeling. Because if something is very charged with emotion, it will move you. Yeah. And then the subconscious mind, also what it does is like a hard drive. So I make sure that they save the right suggestions that will help them moving forward. And stress, for example, also is your nervous system, but it is directed by what you believe and what you've experienced. So I change all of that. I literally untangle bad experiences and recharge it with a good feeling. So you feel better, you act better, you think better.
Can you like compare it with a computer or something with like more touchable thing that people don't think like it's still magic, or it's still like, can you make me do something that I don't want to do?
It's a good one. Like it's like a computer. You have an input and then you have an output. And your computer or your iPhone, if you don't upgrade it, then it's going to be slower and slower and slower until it doesn't work. What I mean is, when you have a certain goal or desire, you want something, you want to go somewhere, or you want to be a certain person and have a certain dream life or dream business, then you need to change the way you think, because why you're not there and why you're not experiencing it is because the way you now think, the program. So if your computer is living in 2000, where you have limiting beliefs, but you are and you want a goal that is in this year, then you have year 2000 and year 2026. And this creates a conflict, because with your conscious mind, you're like, I know what I want, when I want to go, I want to make impact and I want to build this business. But your subconscious mind, your hard drive, your program is living in the past, living in limitations, living in what's not possible, living in a lot of fear and doubt and insecurity and uncertainty. So what I do, I close the gap. So you're living more in the present moment. We release stress. With hypnosis, you can do so much. People don't know it, but I keep it simple. You will act, feel, and think better. That's what I often say.
Can you explain how you do that? Like in simple steps, maybe like 5 steps, that people have more like a visualization how this works. What are you going to do with them?
I get this question often, and people who experience it, they say it's hard to explain how this works. So I always say you should experience it. But if I would say it in steps, first, like realize what is the current challenge or problem they face. So they become aware of what it is. That's through a pre-talk. Then they know, this is the belief, this is the feeling I have, and this is what it causes, the consequences. Then,
can you explain it with an example?
For example, last week, for example. So an entrepreneur, he makes very good money. He has a big team. His business runs without him already. He just needs to focus on the vision and growing it to where he wants it to be. But it's already doing a lot of money. So he doesn't need to focus on making more money. He has a great product. So everything is in place, but he find it very hard to, first of all, to switch off. So from work to not working, create a balance in his life between personal life and business life. And then also he finds it hard to make decisions fast because something in him doubts his abilities. And it's crazy because he came very far, but he did it on autopilot. He was an athlete in the past, and he's just very good in execution. But when he starts to think about things, doubt kicks in.
So he's hitting a ceiling now.
Yeah, he hit a ceiling, and so to scale his business, we checked like, okay, what is the underlying belief you have about yourself? Where is it coming from? I always want to know. And also, yeah, the stress he experienced makes him react different. And so what I do then, when I know this, I asked him like, what do you want to experience? And he's like, yeah, I want to feel more calmness, and I want to decide faster, and I want to be a leader and not like a self-doubter in moments of when it really matters, because he does a lot of things good, and that's where I focus on, and I bring that to his challenge. So all the things that he's doing well, I ask him literally, what do you believe there? What do you feel there? What do you notice? And then I ask him literally to close his eyes, and then I reprogram his mind in like 30 to 45 minutes. I change the whole program, and then he wakes up. He's still in control. He's still here. There's always a filter watching you if you're safe or not. You're not gone. That's show hypnosis.
So you can't make him feel something completely different, whatever you're like putting in his brain.
Exactly. There's like a guard.
Yeah, a gatekeeper.
A gatekeeper, very good, that watched your life, your entire life. It doesn't matter how old you are. And it knows, who are you? What do you believe? And what is real or not? So if you believe, like, for example, you are a psychologist, master in psychology, and you kickbox, that's what you like. If I say you don't like it now, your critical brain says bullshit. You notice it already. So in hypnosis, that filter is still there. The thing is that you're just more relaxed because you're in theta, and in theta, you're more receptive to suggestions. So what I've learned in my study in hypnotherapy, and also what I notice, is that if somebody's critical filter is fully on, and I give a new suggestion like, hey, from now on, you will feel and do and act this way, you hit a wall.
Yeah.
Because the filter is like, but for 25 years, it wasn't possible. Why does it now? And that's the thing. It doesn't work against you, just protecting you from just receiving information randomly. So what I do, I pause the wall for 1 second, like 30 minutes maybe. I pause it, and so we can enter the subconscious mind like this. Makes sense, right? And then I give new suggestions, and then when they come back, the filter's back. I just let them relax. And that's based on trust, of course.
Is it harder with some people than other people?
The people that come to me, they trust me, and so they open because they know I will help them. I get that if you don't feel a certain trust with a expert, you are like, am I safe? Is it good to do this? You get it. It's doubt. Yeah. And then if you doubt, you're super aware. So what I do, I always tell them like, hey, if you open up, I can help you the best. But they want to. Yeah. Like, it's funny to notice actually, like, and beautiful, that the top in business and the actors I work with and the athletes were super open because they know this is going to help me go to the next level and make me feel better and have better relationships. And the people who were like in the beginning stage of their business or success, they were like very critical. And I literally told them, this critical brain is here to help you. But if you stay in the same place, then you have to open up for new suggestions.
They are self-sabotaging them.
Exactly. And that's why they stay at the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like a niche that you're doing with your hypnotherapy, mainly entrepreneurs, high achievers. Why this kind of people?
Long story short, because I work with not entrepreneurial people, and I noticed then we solved the problem.
Before when you started?
Yes, like a few years. We solved the problem, and then that was it. There was no continuation. No, there was no goal attached. And I like to see people going somewhere. And that's personal. It's the other thing is also good if you like that, but it felt quite heavy. You constant problems and challenges you hear, which is okay if you like that. But I was like, okay, but now we're gonna move to a place you really want to be. And so,
why do you like it that there is a goal attached to it?
Because then we have something to move towards to. and we are gonna, and that's also easier to change behavior. Is like, where do we go? So you go away from the problem by moving to something good. And the other thing, when they're not entrepreneurial, you solve something, they feel better. It's beautiful. It gave me fulfillment, but I missed that teamwork. And because I did a lot in business myself and a lot of challenges, I was like, I want to work with the same pack, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I met an entrepreneur, I was like, I felt like this is where I want to work with. And I talked with him. He's like, you should work with entrepreneurs because you can help them with their challenges. While you grow your business, you grow their business. So it was a win-win because I wanted to build a business myself and make impact. And that's by helping others.
And can you describe this feeling when you had this, that you were like, I want to be with this kind of people. This is going to help me grow my business, but as well help me get this fulfillment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
How was this feeling? How was it like, okay, now I know my kind of people and the type that I want to work with?
That was when I had the first experience with an entrepreneur, and I helped him with his fear of speaking in 2 sessions, and he had it for years. And then he invited me to do an event with him. And we had such a great conversation that and we solved this problem, and we connected.
In a speaking event?
We did it one-on-one.
Okay.
In Holland when I had our own space.
Yeah.
But then 4 weeks later, we did an event together, and he had the best talk ever. People thought he was speaking for years, and it was his first one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was 2 sessions. And then he brought me a lot of clients in the beginning. He literally said, you need to work with entrepreneurs. And I felt like, yeah, this is where I want to go. It gave me a lot of energy. The other one is taking a lot of energy from me. So, and this was giving me a lot of energy. And also I love to see entrepreneurs going so good with their team, and their leadership grows, and also their relationship with them. And it has so many more things attached to it that we can also measure, that it makes the transformation even bigger. And to be part of that, that's really special. Until this day, I see businesses grow of the guys I work with, and they always are grateful for the time we work with, because we worked on the things they do to this day.
And what are the most kind of problems or ceilings that they have or come to you with? Is there like a pattern you can see in those kind of high achievers?
Yes. So the stress part is big. They have an enormous overload of stress, and they don't regulate their emotions or their nervous system. So they do more, but they don't take really good care of themselves. I notice. And they're just used to work hard and get results and make money. They're good at it, but not taking care of themselves is the last thing they do. And also they sabotage their relationships. They do everything to be successful, and the relationships go very bad, or they don't take good care of their girlfriend.
Which relationships? Like friends, family?
Friends, family, but also partner. So quite some people that are like, I don't think my relationship is going to work because I'm always working and this and that. So like kind of running from it. And then also ceilings, like money ceilings. You can't make more money. They had certain beliefs about it. But the stress, not being to be able to switch off, and also like feeling confident. There was a plateau with everybody in confidence, because when you hit a certain level, then to go to the next level, it really requires a different identity.
Yeah.
And that struggle is real. It's because you already have the money, you have the team, you have everything, but you want to grow, but it's like boom all the time. And that's subconscious like programming. That's where you want to change it.
So for example, with the confidence problem, are you helping them to shift to another identity? Are you going to change the identity? Or what is happening over there? Because most people think that those high achievers or entrepreneurs that are already making a lot of money have a lot of self-confidence. But yeah, when you go behind the problem, then they don't realize that also those people that are really successful have the same problems as you and I and everyone else.
You know that too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I will answer, what do you see as a master in psychology?
I think everything comes from a really young age, especially like between the age of 8 and 12 years old. A lot of things can happen, and that will be like the foundation of who you're going to be later. and then it's up to you if you're gonna be the same person who is like developed as a child and has the same identity, the same characteristics, the same kind of beliefs, or do you realize, hey, this is holding me back, and are you gonna change this? But it's way more difficult to change your identity or certain beliefs or certain characteristics on a later age. The same with language. It's way easier to learn a language on a younger age than a later age. So I think people really need to have the inner belief and the inner will to change this identity to get better for themselves and the people around them. And if they don't do that or don't want, so there's some doubts in it, then it's really difficult to change someone.
And why would people not want to change?
Because I think they are maybe scared that they are going to be a total different person, and people are like, you're not the same person as you used to be, or they think maybe like, oh, do I like the new person, or is this going to be working out for me? And I think everything is lying in the doubt and just risk and just the unknown. People like to know what is going to happen and anticipate. Like that's also how the brain works. The brain works with always thinking ahead. What can I see?
Yeah, predictability, right?
He wants to predict everything because that feels really comfortable.
Exactly,
and the
safe,
brain wants to feel comfortable. And whenever something is coming or experiencing which is uncomfortable or unknown, they're like, ooh, scared, anxious. So the brain is like, are you gonna do that? Are you really sure? And then you really need your inner intrinsic motivation to do that and make that step.
Yeah, exactly. So what you notice is that most people who don't do it, they hold themselves back because of fear, right? Of change. Yeah.
With this identity change.
Yeah. Yeah. The unknown. Yeah, because the brain likes to know. Exactly. Yeah, the predictability is something I learned in the art of change also. That also it literally predicts if it's worth it or not to you. But also, if you cannot like feel well, by the way, you don't know if something is good for you. You can feel what you need and what is important, but you cannot only do it through your mind. The mind-body connection.
What do you mean with feel well?
I've learned that two things are super important to feel. That's why you need to learn to regulate your emotions. And that's why the stress part with entrepreneurs is such a problem. Because if you feel stressed, you cannot feel other emotions. And literally you suppress other emotions, to say so. So if you need rest, or you need to speak out, for example, saying no, setting boundaries, or you really need to do something for yourself, it's good, but you cannot feel the need, what I often hear, then you can't give it to yourself. You stay stuck in the same problem. And also what's important to you. I often hear like, who am I really? That's one, because they build their identity based on their business. And if they don't do business, they're nothing or nobody. That's what they thought, like, who am I? And I tell them, like, I can make a list, what's important to you, that's one, but you have to feel, because that changes all the time, what you need. If you need food, or you need rest, or you need a good conversation, it pops up in your mind maybe, but if you can feel it, if you cannot feel hunger because you're stressed all the time, you don't eat. So, but that's biologically like needs. But psychological needs, you literally have to be able to feel them. So I train them also to feel better. With hypnosis, I activate more emotion. That's crazy. And then they feel like, whoa. And then they start to attract certain things because they're more open, they feel better. And so the guys that come to me, and the woman, by the way, I work with women and men, they are open. So I don't have that problem of motivation. I get that certain people have that. They're very open, but it's more like they need to change their identity. And to answer your question, we let more go of what doesn't help them. It's more letting go of certain thought patterns and certain beliefs, and the underlying emotion, such as doubt and fear and uncertainty. Those things are correlated. They're directly connected. And I take them both and change it. Also show them, like, what is this doing to you now? What harm? Or what are you not doing because of this? And then I show them like, well, what would you do in this? What would do the best version of yourself? Literally the top 1% entrepreneur, I always say this because they operate on a high level. What would he do? And it's always a different thing. So I say then
A different thing, which
different action.
With what he's already doing.
Yes. So for example, they don't need to change their business. The strategy is good. They need to say no more. They need to fire somebody. They need to hire somebody. They literally need to speak up, but they're afraid to not feel good enough or to be rejected, or they're just afraid of things that are quite irrational, actually. That's the worst thing they think of.
So you help them realizing
Yeah,
that it's not going to be that bad and maybe way more good.
Exactly. But I make them aware of things, and then with hypnosis we change the program so they do it themselves. No willpower needed. I don't tell them what to do. They tell me what the problem is. I show them, why is this a problem to you? And what is the alternative? They always know, but they don't do it. And I help them to do it. But more important, really more important, to be the right person. Because we shift the whole identity, and we change what we need to change. That's always different. But when we do that, and you are the person, if you are a kickboxer, it becomes normal to train. But if you act like as if you are a kickboxer, but you are not sure, then you can choose. Maybe gym, maybe kickboxing, maybe we're gonna do the best coach, or we can also do the one who just started, because it's not that important. Things go super natural if you are a person that's healthy, instead of I wanna be healthy. Wanna be is like still acting as if. And we go really to embodying a person, being the person that you deep down want to be. And some things are already there, and some things we need to really rewire.
And can you compare this with NLP, like neuro-linguistic programming? Because sometimes people are like, oh, NLP, I want to learn more about this. Yeah. But there are some similarities, there are some...
Yeah. To be very honest, I studied it too, but it's very surface level. And I believe, as you study psychology, and I studied hypnotherapy, advanced, and I studied the art of change, which is a scientific study. It's a different game. NLP is this compared to what I've learned.
What's the big difference?
With NLP, you can literally keep your eyes open, and I say, okay, you see this image, and that's why you feel bad. Change the image. Yeah, that can help, but when you do it so consciously, your brain is not in the state to rewire. Yeah, actually rewire. That happens in Theta more. That's because, and you told this very nicely, from 0 to 7, your mind is receptive as if you're in hypnosis. Because monkey see, monkey do, you learn. So that's the first program, and then your brain develops on. And then at a certain point, you literally feel like, oh, this is my life, this is who I think, this is who I am, this is what's important. But it's all from how people told you life is, and your parents and
mimicking
your school.
A lot.
Exactly. Like mimicking is the biggest one. So that's, if you change what you see, you will also change how you feel and how you act. Emotions are super strong. They move us. That's a very positive thing if you use it well, and it's a very shitty thing if you don't use it well. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
If you let emotions decide your life, you are done, because they can be very, very misleading. And if you cannot feel well, you don't know what's right. So yeah, that's a few of the struggles my entrepreneurs have.
Yeah.
They're running a business, so they're busy not with their emotions, they're busy with making money and impact.
Maybe they're also afraid to feel, because emotions, you can feel it through your body, but sometimes it's just way too scary, to feel all those kind of feelings. But I think people also don't realize that how much the mind is connected with the body. And I think that's also a big part of NLP, which is missing, because it's only like linguistic, only like voice, speaking, but not like really connecting with the body, and then you're not like feeling it. And when the whole body and the mind is connected and showing what you really want, then it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But what is your take on, like, how can people understand this better, that everything is connected through the mind, nervous system, body, everything?
Good one. Yeah, you said it. I believe NLP is very like a short piece of the cake.
Yeah.
And
for example, people say like, oh, you have to act like a millionaire to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's a big thing going on the socials, but this is the whole science behind it, and people don't know. It's for example, they say neurons that wire together, they fire together. So whenever you connect all the neurons, they're gonna go exactly the same way, becoming the millionaire. But what's the science behind this? Because that's actually what you're doing.
I know this is honestly, so many people do their affirmations wrong, and so many
manifesting
people,
affirmations.
Yeah, and you have to feel it. Okay, I will tell you something that most people don't agree with me, and I can back it up with many stories, because the entrepreneurs that come to me sometimes make like 2, 5, sometimes 10x money, and you wouldn't believe it. You can just watch some YouTube videos, some reels, and they go x5 in like 8 weeks.
Where can they see this?
On my Instagram, on YouTube, you can see my reviews. They all make a bunch of money after. Why? Because we break the ceiling. And they did affirmations. They tried all of it, but they didn't make more money. And this is why. And I mean, the examples that I give, I'm talking about 100K profit a month. That's big money. Like, those people are gonna be millionaires.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about somebody who's making like 1K and then 3K, which is X3. But I personally, and I think you too, and many entrepreneurs did that without any reprogram. Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's quite funny actually to think that many people want a kind of a shortcut to success, while me and we're the same generation, around the same, we just worked for it until like 10K or like 5 to 8K. And then I started to look at, oh, whoa, maybe I should break a certain ceiling.
Pattern, yeah.
Exactly. And I believe so. One thing is that you need to do the work, and many people don't do the actual work that makes them the money, because they think, if I see it and visualize it and believe it, then
it will pop up.
Exactly. I wake up.
One day I'll be a millionaire.
Exactly. Or I'm sitting on the couch and I drink coffee and, oh wow, my bank
I'm reading my 10 pages every day.
They're like doing 3 hours of
meditation, whatever.
Tapping into the source. And then if I ask them, but what did you actually do?
If they
can do it. But my clients, they
need to put in the work as well.
Exactly.
You can't
they have a team.
Only do your book.
Exactly.
And steps.
And honestly, like, people I know are way too busy with working instead of doing a whole routine of 3 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to take good care of yourselves, but in 1 hour you can do your thing. Or like, you can do a workout, walk, take a coffee, write some things down, sit, breathe for 20 seconds if you want to do that, book, and boom. But don't do it because you believe you're going to make $1 million because of that. No, it sets you in the right state. And so there's a critical filter in your brain. And this is so important. And this is why what I told you, I paused the critical filter, because that critical filter believes now that you're worth 5K a month, 20K a month, 100K a month, and not more. And that's through your belief system, through what people told you, what you've seen around you. So that comes from the past. You didn't choose it. You just heard it, observed it, experienced it. So the subconscious mind learns through observation and experiences, and then it attach an emotion to it. And if it's a strong emotion, it feels really real. If it's no emotion, it's just a thought. That's why we can let go thoughts so easy at many times, because if it doesn't if it isn't charged with emotion, it doesn't feel like, you know what I mean, right? And especially women are very intuitive. So if they feel a man is good, then it's right. But if they feel, a man is not good for them, and their thoughts are like, but it is a good man, then their feelings win. I think women are the great example of how to learn to deal with emotions.
Why?
Because they're more in tune with their emotions and intuitively strong. And I have sisters, and I've worked with many women that if you get them in touch with mind-body connection back, whoa, they can feel. And that's what men need to learn more. Feel what they need, feel what's important. About the affirmation thing, none of my clients do affirmations. So, I mean, maybe 1 or 2, and I know that, but we do it in our way. And that's the critical filter believes now you are not worth more than this money. That's not true, but that's your critical filter. And then you're going to tell yourself, I'll be a millionaire. I'll be a millionaire. And your critical filter is like, no, bullshit. Because yesterday you made 2K. Who the fuck are you? I give this example before hypnosis. I say this. So you want to feel super confident. And now, for example, you feel not confident with leading your team. Very easy example. They're like, yes, I feel okay at moments, but I don't feel that I'm really like doing what I can do and say what I want to say. And I say, like, imagine now I tell you tomorrow you'll wake up fully confident. What do you think? And they're laughing. I'm like, your mind is like bullshit. Yes. I think you're exactly.
Yeah.
And this is my hypnotherapist in the past that taught me so much. She told me this, like, that's why the critical filter is not helping you. It helps you to survive, but not to thrive. So you have to pause it. And that's what I do. I make people feel relaxed. First, they go into my story, and then the critical filter is like, shh. Because if I send your critical filter now to think about Italy, think about your last vacation in Italy, for example. Now you're there. Your subconscious mind is open. Now I do the work. But it takes more than that. That's like the art of hypnosis. I take 30 to 45 minutes to rewire your mind in a session. And there is the affirmation part. When you don't know how to put away the critical filter, it's like bounce, 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 and it doesn't come in. And that's why I ask people, do you feel that you can be a millionaire? Yeah, sometimes, but... And I'm like, you can do it for 7 years. Your critical filter will believe you're not worth it. Yeah. So we need to change the underlying feeling and belief first. But therefore, we need to pause the critical filter.
And is this something your own hypnotherapist told you?
Yes.
Why did you had a hypnotherapist yourself?
Yeah, this is like 4 years. So shortly after I started myself, I was like, I want to do it because I didn't feel very good in certain situations in relationships. And I was also about speaking out. So I was like...
What kind of feeling? Do you mean like anxious or
like
angry?
At a certain point when things were important choices, or for example, in my own environment, but also in relationship with women, there was a certain point that I became very insecure. And that was because I was afraid to not feel good enough. And that was like 5 years ago. So it went up and down. And sometimes we all have this moment that we feel super good, but that's so temporary, we cannot build on it. We also don't want to build on emotion. We want to have a good foundation. Yeah. And the foundation is not only just emotion, it's your nervous system being calm. And I felt very unsafe in certain situations. And that was from the past. So she helped me rewire. So I'm like feeling safe around people, around challenges. Because sometimes when the pressure is big, you're afraid to make mistakes. You make mistakes. And often. And that was what I was sending out all the time. And so she helped me with that. And also I deeply believed I was worth a certain amount of money. And it's so crazy. After that session, I made more money immediately. And I attracted my ex-girlfriend back then. And she was amazing. And I told my hypnotherapist...
Was this because of you or because of you making more money?
That's a very good one. I like this one, actually. Well, she didn't know the money I made, but I drove a cool car. So I think she liked it.
You really think? Because women can do a lot of detective stuff.
She didn't know I made more money.
But she saw the car.
What I did was I went to Spain to see her after 4 weeks. So she knew I was not like in a bad place. Yeah. But she wasn't going for the money. She had a lot of money. Her family was very, very wealthy. So actually, and then I noticed being around them felt very good instead of fearful. Because if you want to make more money, but you believe you're not worth it, then it's very uncomfortable to be around people that make a lot of money.
But were you more comfortable after or also before? Because I can imagine that if you're like in a wealthy family and you're not making enough money, you think as a man that you maybe can feel uncomfortable then. Yeah. And then maybe think you're not good enough for this relationship. And then you're going to sabotage yourself.
I had that.
Okay, yeah.
I had that constantly. Yeah. And there was one voice, and that's my conscious mind, that was like, I want to make more money because, and not just for money, I wanted to have a certain freedom, travel wherever I want to travel. I want to buy things I want to buy. I want to experience life, eating more healthy, invest in my life and business. I want to give back to certain people. I want to give money to my mission. So my mission is long term to build water foundations in third world countries. But it's gonna be like this year, next year, we're gonna go build. And so that's very cool. That was a dream like 10 years ago. But I wanted all those things, and I need more money. And I also wanted to have the freedom to work with wherever. Well, I fulfilled all of those years ago, but that session was a game changer for me, because I was working a lot to make. Yeah, I lived from it. I mean, I'm very grateful to more than 6 years having no boss. I'm my own boss. But you have to know that like my will was there, but my identity and my subconscious programming was in the past. And it was always like a fight, you know? It was like, you know, one of my best friends literally tells this example. It's like, you're going to fight, imagine kickboxing, and you want to hit, but literally, so your mind is, I'm going to hit you, but your body's like, no, you're a loser. And it's like, you get pulled back.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't hit fully, because you deep down, and those deep down rooted beliefs, they're very strong.
Yeah.
And those will move you, because willpower lasts for a bit. But if the willpower is done in your day, you fall back to old patterns. And I changed that there. And she told me like, do you know the critical filter? I'm like, what? I learned. She's like, that's the most important part. That's why all those affirmations don't work. I liked her. She was so direct. I'm like, And then she gave me the example like, okay, tomorrow you'll make more money. And I'm like, bullshit. And she's like, see, that's the voice. So let's pause it. And then I made more money. She changed my life. Hypnotherapy changed my life. And that's why I was like, I am stoked. So I do it full time for 6 years now. Like I didn't also in the meantime, I wanted to stop a few times, because I was like,
why?
Good question, actually. Because I didn't want to stop because it didn't work. I wanted to work in a team. I didn't want to do it all alone. There was a certain period that I just did sessions and that's it. And I'm like, maybe I want to do something more with a team. And but
was this because you just missed some kind of connection? Or
yeah. That was really, I felt like lonely in my work. So it was not the work. It was I felt lonely overall.
Yeah.
And also then I felt lonely, and then I heard a lot of challenges. So sometimes it was a bit heavy and I couldn't let go of it. So that was my lesson. And then I kind of like took a break. I never stopped. It was like the thought, I'm like, I want to stop. And deep down I didn't want to stop, and I didn't want to give up either. So I took a break. And then the crazy part was that 2 times I took a break, boom, someone came and said, I have a challenge. You need to help me. I'm like, oh, damn. Even if I say stop.
What kind of challenges were this?
Well, one was he was about to commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
it was heavy
as well. It was a friend, yeah.
Was a friend, close friend.
Yeah.
Were you like immediately, I'm going to help you? Or were you like, how I'm going to...
Yeah, because there was a lot on the line. He had a family and stuff.
Yeah.
Like family coming up. And he never asked for help. So like, I cannot share too much, because then maybe people know who he is, but he's a tough guy, like very tough guy. He's the last one who will complain or say something, but he did it, and he was on the ground mentally. And then I gave him a session, and he said, well, he made a lot of clients for me actually as a friend. Every event he was talking about me. That's how I got one of my clients, Michel Moussa, who's a big LinkedIn guy in Holland. Now he stopped with it. He's in Bali actually. Well, he lives in Bali. And from there, I met a lot of great entrepreneurs, and my career went up. But yeah, this was
one of the moments you wanted to stop, and then
big change. Yeah, and he came to meet as friend, and I gave him a session, and I I changed. Yeah, that was a really intense session, because I have a.
There was more on the line than just
this was just
client.
It was no work anymore. It's like my duty. He literally said, "Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Of course." And then we booked in a session very quickly. And I gave it. That was on the point that I was about to stop for a while. And then after he said, I don't want you to stop. And he had zero thoughts about committing suicide after. And then he built a great life. And
do you think this was a sign?
A big sign. Because I did it twice.
Yeah.
And twice people came to me like, I need your help. Literally, when you let go of something and it comes back, it's for you.
Yeah.
I let go. I was like, and that's the biggest sign. That so I never searched for hypnotherapy. It came in my life 4 times, and the 4th time I said yes. And I actually did this, and it came back. I even told some people, like, I don't know if I want to continue this. And some people ask me, is this your long term thing? I'm like, I couldn't answer, because I just know that's a gift that I can help entrepreneurs, and the way doesn't really matter to me, but this way now works very well. So for now, yes. But although I would say I want to stop, people come to me, and I'm like, that's a big sign. Then I just need to do it. And it feels very, like, since last few years, it feels very right. Like now I'm in a flow that I've never been before, and the results speak for itself. So for me, the happiness is in the results I see with my clients.
What kind of results do they get? Like, do you have specific examples? Because people are like, client wins, but
Yeah.
is this like in a time frame of 1 month after or 1 year after? What are
very fast, actually. Like,
Okay.
let's say this: your life, like physically, doesn't change in a week or a month, like totally.
It's
But
the same with training, right?
yeah,
If you're gonna lift weights, you're not gonna see muscles in 1 week.
yeah, kickboxing, how long does it take to become very good?
Yeah.
Like, and how much do you need to
Very
how
long.
much suffering, how much challenges, soreness?
Black eyes.
Yeah. So you do this
everything.
for how long? 10
Yeah, more than 10 years.
10 years. Yeah. You
And
like
fighting more than 6 years.
exactly. So it takes a long time to build a real foundation.
Yeah.
At the same time, with hypnosis, because you work with the subconscious mind, you can lay the foundation mentally and emotionally very fast, like 1,000 times faster, because your subconscious mind learns 100,000 to 1 million times faster than your conscious mind. Like the amount of
It's about
data,
learning, actually.
the hard drive, your long-term memory is insane, and your
Yeah.
short-term memory is like a fish, as we know.
Yeah.
So that's why I use images and emotions. They stick 10 times better. And so results that I see is that after one session last week, often after one session, people are like, whoa, I feel way more calmer. So I mean, way more calmer. Like they haven't experienced this in years, and they act different. And then I hear these stories all the time, and I'm gonna record a bunch of podcasts the coming months, but you can literally check in the reels with the guys. They explain this. Like, for example, they made 200K profit, 200K revenue every month, and then they go to 900K.
Yeah.
And they never did it in 5 years.
But do you think this feeling of calm is really coming out of the hypnosis?
Yeah,
or
I'm sure.
coming out of, I'm working now on something and he's helping me, so this is giving me the calmness?
That will give a push. So placebo is always part of it, because they believe. But I always do a very, very long intake. And in the intake,
what is long?
They have to literally fill in a whole page with like 30 questions.
Yeah.
They have to fill in all their obstacles, their intentions, what they want. And then I have a 1.5 hour talk with them, pre-talk, before the first session.
Yeah.
I know all of it. Like, they tell me everything. That's why I have a very good connection with my clients. They literally share everything, even things they have never shared with their parents.
Yeah.
And then I know I rate things like, how do you feel? How do you think about this? What is this? And yes, it is hard sometimes, because people, if they cannot feel, they're like, huh. But then if they cannot feel, I help them with feeling better. And then in the next session, they say, whoa, I can feel. And it's very scary, actually. But it's the right thing. But I have to say, I never felt so many emotions. But it's a good thing. Now they can choose better. Then we learn to choose better, of course. But the changes go quite fast. For example, one had a very bad relationship with his girl, very bad. And then in 1 or 2 sessions, the partner said, what the fuck?
What was he experiencing? Like, what was bad about the relationship?
He was very frustrated, very fast frustrated, very harsh. And I've noticed this often. And then he just focused on his business and he left her. And she felt very like not seen, not loved. So, and he's like, I don't want to be like that. And then it came all the way from his past, that he used to see how this goes in his family. And so it was his program that was running. And then we changed the program. I had a very good conversation about like respect for women and how to literally communicate with them, because I've learned that. And then with sisters, you learn that the easy way to just by living with them. And then next session, he's like, yo, she's like, this was really funny actually. She's like, whoa, I noticed a difference. When do you have your next session with your hypnotherapist? And he's like making a joke, like, so she's asking, when is your next session? Because she likes it.
Yeah.
And then after 2 sessions, she felt a huge difference. And and if the environment notices it, that's a real big thing.
Yeah.
So he said, like, I feel calmer, I react better, like way better.
But what was this for time frame? Like from the beginning of the intake until
2 weeks. I talk
that's
about
insane.
Yeah, because I do 2 sessions in 2 weeks.
That's insane.
Sorry, I do 2 sessions in 4 weeks, every 2 weeks. But I speak to them every week. But in 2 weeks later, he said, I noticed a huge difference. Or people start to make more money. Because in the first session, I do the most work. The foundation is laid. So I work with the nervous system. I work with their mind, with their emotions, their triggers, their conscious mind, their control system. Yeah, there's a lot. I did advanced hypnotherapy. So it's not close your eyes. Now you feel a millionaire. Tomorrow you'll make $1 million. Sorry, I had to say it like that. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. Or hey, just manifest.
That's what people think.
They think it's a 3-step. And I know it sells right.
Yeah.
But it's not the right thing. What really is true is you have to change the way you see. The way you see the world. The filters, like the beliefs, the values, you have to be aware of those and see where do I need to change in order to become better. But most people, they work with what they already know, but what they already know brought them to this point. You need to get deeper into who am I, what moves me, and like the psychology, like your psychological needs. I want to be myself, I want to connect, and I want to get better at something. What is holding me back to do these 3 things? That's where I rewire so much until they do what they need to do, say what they need to say, be who they really are. And then they feel super free. They can fulfill. That's how you unlock your potential. Open the way to do. Because this is the thing, right? You know, too many people don't do what they need to do because they're afraid. And they're not the right person. I mean, they say it. And so it is actually funny to say that my dog is here. And she is making, we can keep this into.
Yeah.
She was dreaming. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
I heard her.
Yeah, my dog is a big part of my life too. Hey, Simba?
She was also something that came on your path and you passed it. And then she was there again and you were like, okay.
Crazy story about Simba. Why her name is Simba. It's for, see her. She's happy to hear her name. It's like it's for new life, and I know it's a boy in the movie, but I don't care. I asked ChatGPT and he said it's unisex. No, but people say why it's not Nala, because Simba was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
But Nala has a different meaning.
Well, that's why it came. It's like I didn't even. That's my subconscious mind saying new life, because 2 days before I brought a dog to the vet of somebody else and that died. So it was not my dog. It was poisoned. I tried to help them. She was too late. She waited too long to bring the dog.
Yeah.
And then the dog was super sweet. I helped them. I drove from the restaurant where it happened. And I didn't do it. So it was not like that I did it to help them. Like, oh, my mistake. The dog ate the poison. We figured it out. And they were in shock. I drove with the bike 5 minutes to the vet. Yeah, the dog had heart attacks too and died in 2 hours. And then 2 days later, this dog is knocking on my door. I filmed it and waiting for me. I took her and it was she couldn't let me go. I tried it. I let her. I'm like, let's see if you want to stay with me. She stayed, and now it's like 2. Now it's like 2.5 months, almost 2 months. In 1 week, we're 2 months together. That's why it's Simba New Life. Yeah. So my life, and this is what I notice with clients a lot. I believe you have this too, because I'm going to ask you a question in a bit, but when you notice that you're in a flow state, people come to you and you attract things very fast, the right people, right opportunities, you make easily more money because it literally goes your way. I had to rewire myself fully to get into this state, into this life, into this being. It's not an act. It's really how I live. And I noticed that my clients, when they feel calm, and that's where we work on a lot, like feeling calm, open to receive, like having the right thought patterns is one thing, it's super important, but really underlying feeling calm, that's the gold. And that's what we do. And then they start to get opportunities. They start to take opportunities and they really start to live like they should be. Like a client yesterday texted me that he has 2 opportunities this week that he hasn't had before, and he tells me, he laughs. He's like, man, that is a crazy timing. And he couldn't get around. He said, yeah, since we work together, I literally switched from one partner to another partner, not in love, but in his business. And this gonna make a lot of time and money, more money and more time. And that is exactly what he wanted when he told me to work with me. But he couldn't do it because he was stuck on certain things. And it was only 1 session.
So how many sessions do people have with you on average?
I work 3 months with people, with entrepreneurs. I work 3 months with them. They get the amount of sessions that they need, but often 1 to 3 sessions is enough for the foundation. So I always do 2 sessions in 4 weeks. So 1 today, for example, and
in 4 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Today and in 2 weeks, I do 2 sessions. I do in 4 and then 2 weeks later. So in week 6 is the 3rd session.
Yeah.
For me, it's very automatic. So I always do. Why do I do 2 to 3? Because I know in 2 to 3 sessions we can rewire the whole program. Yeah, it's crazy, and like a lot of things get solved in those sessions. And then in the meantime, we keep them accountable. We make sure they work towards their goals. And if they need a session later with another challenge, they get it. But often it's more about like then we start to really coach them towards their goals. And we keep them sharp, and people work longer with me. Why? Because they grow, and new levels have new devils, and we break them.
New challenges.
Exactly. And then they're at a certain point like, whoa. And that's where they let go of me, when they're really there.
So you're also talking about unlocking their ultimate potential. It sounds a little bit salesy, like a marketing line. What do you mean with this, and what is unlocking the potential without selling your product now, or like your therapy?
Okay, if I ask you, like, what does potential mean to you? Unlocking your potential.
Something you actually want to achieve or hoping to achieve, but you're not getting there. But like you're hoping for it, or like you're visualizing it. It's like more like a dream.
Yeah.
But it feels unreachable.
Check. So your current life and where you want to be is not congruent.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like you're unlocking your potential?
Now?
Yeah.
Not really, I think.
Why not?
Sometimes I think I can do more, or like I can do more.
And do you want to do more also?
I would say yes, but I'm always like, if you really want something, you're doing it, or like if you really want something, you can make it, you can do it, you can feel it, you can achieve it. So then I'm like,
why not?
Do I really want it? So yeah.
Can you give an example, if you want to?
For example, I organize these kickboxing retreats here in Bali, and at this moment I'm doing 3 of those every year. And people are asking me, like, why are you not like doing more of those retreats a year instead of just 3? And I always say, like, I first want to have these retreats really steady, that there's like a foundation. I've done 5 of them now. There are 2 coming up. First, I want to have these like really grounded, really good foundation there. And then I'm going to scale to more every quarter, like maybe 1 or 2 every quarter a year. So, but now I'm also like why am I not already doing that? And then just let's see how it goes, instead of being afraid that it's not gonna work out. And then I'm like, am I unlocking this potential or not?
Check. Okay, thanks for sharing. So is there an underlying fear of like if it's gonna work or not?
Definitely. The biggest fear is that because people know and see and watch, and the biggest fear is to fail.
To not making it happen.
Just fail.
Yeah, and not doing is that not failing?
Yeah, in another way. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing it is actually the way to go to unlock your potential, because it's not about reaching a goal. But unlocking potential is literally doing the thing that makes you grow as a human being, because we're like organisms, so we want to grow. So that, like look at the plants, they never not grow, and you give them water. Yes, you have to take good care of them, but there's no such thing as nature that we cannot learn from. So what I mean by saying is, I was thinking a few things, like nature teaches us what matters.
Yeah.
Patience, giving it the right
Needs.
exactly, and then it will grow, and it has its seasons. And so like there is no such thing as avoiding or ignoring nature. So we want to grow, but growing too fast is not good, because your character also has to have to grow with it. You can go very fast in your business, but you have to catch up on yourself. Like everything has to catch up. And so it's great that you can make big jumps, but that also requires a great responsibility. And so like sustainable growth is super important. And if you keep moving and doing the right things, and it also means pausing and reflecting, that's how you unlock your potential. Just although it feels fearful or you doubt, and you still do the thing, that's how you unlock. Because it's like, whoa, I do it. And then because you don't even have the result yet, but you're doing it. It's not about the result. The result is an effect, but you're doing it, and that makes you grow as a person. And that's the person you become in a process is so much better. Because imagine if I tell you the first year it won't happen, but the coming 4 years after, it will become very big. Would you start right now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Exactly. So it's not about the result. It's about the person you become and need to become in order to eventually make it happen. And that's my clients. I never talk about results. You know why? They say, okay, I want a 50 million revenue, for example. Like, okay, nice. And then I let go. What do you need? Yeah, it's different numbers.
Yeah.
And or like an actor that says, yo, I'm going to play in Carré, and the television will be there. And I came, and all the big television stations are there. And I'm like, oh shit, it was real. Like, I didn't even realize how big it was until I was there.
Yeah.
And so I felt a little bit of pressure, but that's because I want to have results. For him, I told him, I want you to focus on the process, on the journey. And when we did that, because that's in your control, your power, and for you too, like you can do everything amazingly, still you don't know the result. So, but when you do this very good, you will grow so much that you will have a lot of belief and faith and trust in your abilities and feel very confident. And then if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean it won't work out at all. It already worked. You already had success, have success, without even really putting all the effort in that you need. That means you put a good product or service on the market. But imagine this, and this is what my business coach, he's an older man, very wise, chill man. He already made it. He's just coaching for the sake of it, because he likes it. He's like, you know what's painful? And I'm like, I feel it coming already. And he looks at me, he's like, sometimes I feel like you can do more, but you don't do it, and that frustrates you.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just reminded me, he's like, and you know the things you need to do, right? Yeah, why don't you do it? He asked me. And I'm like, that's a good question. And I told him, like, I said, from where I came from 10 years ago, and now I'm very successful. It's not to brag, it's just where I came from, and now it's like a different life, person, and world. So I have more than I need. Why do I want more? And that's also not the right question all the way, to say what do I want, but maybe what do my clients need, or what does the world or God, universe, wherever you believe in, need. And for me, that's to use my skill, because then I can help more people, be more valuable, and attain new goals, but also fund my mission. So if you really think about what you can do with more impact, more money, then there's so much reason to do it. And then you will grow as a person. That for me is unlocking your potential. Really get out of life what's in there, not by overworking, burning out. That's often, people go too far.
Yeah.
Some people, without taking care of, but you take good care of yourself. So why wouldn't you do it? You can back it up. You have the knowledge, you have the people around you, you have the right service. And what does failing mean? Failing to me is really giving up. You haven't, because you do it. You have one in 1 month.
Yeah. 2 weeks, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks.
Prepare.
Oh yeah.
Because
Good
you're
to be
gonna
part.
do a workshop over
Exactly. Yeah. So unlocking potential is going for it, nonetheless, what the critical voice says.
And would you say you shouldn't be result oriented or?
Less. Yeah, because honestly, if you have a kickbox game and you focus on the result all the time, how do you feel? All the time. Like you need to win, you need to win. How does it make you feel?
For me, I really need that. But
You
I
need it.
know some of my other training partners, they will it will work the other way around. They will be like too much nervous and
Yeah.
too much anxious. But for me, it works like, okay, I need
Okay.
to win because otherwise.
Okay. So you can deal with it very well. You're very resilient. That's
Yeah.
also important. But do you agree that focusing on the result is not what will make you win, but focusing on the skill and on training and preparing will make you
Yeah.
win? That will
Yeah.
make everybody win, the process. So I always say, like, we have the goal, let go of the goal. That's
Yeah.
great. We know where to work on, but now we know where to work to, but now we need to know this path, this journey. How can we optimize you? How can we make sure we upgrade your subconscious mind so that it will happen? And that gives peace, because it's like, I'm in control over my process. I'm not in control over my result. Because I'm not in control over what you're thinking now, what you're doing, and also who you are. I can only say like what I want and expect, and ask you what you need. But that's the process. But if I say, no, I want Dewi to do and it, then I'm going to feel very anxious.
Yeah.
You can deal with it very well, but you know you're good in it. So when people are not really trusting in their abilities, for example, leadership, then they are like, shit, I need to do it good, but in the process, I will probably fail. So
you
we
feel like an imposter, right?
Exactly. And then imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
huge
that's
one,
big.
by the way.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So we solve a lot of emotional and mental challenges with hypnosis, and pretty fast. And if you want to learn more about it, you can always send me a message.
Yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur doing like at least 5K profit a month, 10K ideally and above, all good, or you're an athlete or actor and you want to rewire your subconscious mind because you want to break through the next level, then hypnosis, in my opinion, is a very good way to get there.
Yeah, and last thing I also want to talk about is, in case of results and goals, you just talked about your mission.
Yeah.
What is your mission? You said something about the water.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What is the bigger picture in here?
Yeah.
And
so
why?
yeah, so when I was young, like really young, like 15 or 14, can you remember that in school you had those books, notebooks, and then you were just writing stories, or like, what did you do in the weekend? Or we had
Like
that.
a diary.
I like a diary,
Yeah.
exactly. And in that book, I remember that we had to write, what is your dream? And then I was like, from a young age, I remember that I wrote down helping poor kids with clean water.
Mine was like dolphin trainer.
Yeah, I wanted to be a
Why-
pro soccer player, a football player too.
Okay.
So that was a pro football player, but I
Yeah.
wanted to help poor kids. I don't.
Why did you have this
I
feeling?
believe so there's something that probably is in my unconscious mind, but I think if I think back, the first thing that comes to mind is because I grew up with foster parents and people helped me that didn't know me, that I wanted to automatically give something back. That's also why I started coaching. I was like, I want to give back and I want to do something because I'm really grateful for where I'm at. That's why I'm very successful in my life, because I came from living without my father. At 4 years old, I had to go away from my mother. I didn't grow up with my sister, with my brother, yes, but not with my own parents, not in my own environment, not in my own, like I'm Persian, but I grew up in Holland. So it was all very chaotic and stressful and change. And so when I was 18 and I grew up 14 years with foster parents, which was amazing. They really were good for me. I still had a lot of struggles because who am I? I have no father. I didn't feel any direction. And my mother eventually was able to take care of us. And then I was there for a year. And then I took my own studio and went on my own. It was really tough. So a lot of insecurities, a lot of mental struggles. So I came from a very, very hard place. And I have to say I'm grateful for my foster parents because they made it way better, and that's why I got opportunities, and now everything's very good. So, and I always had that voice that said I want to give something back. So this year, the most things are happening already, like the best time of my life and my business also. And now the funds are getting there to really give back in a bigger picture. And for me, water is the most important thing as human beings. And I find it always hard when I see like those videos of kids drinking like very dirty water. And it's just a more my intuitive feeling than a rational explanation. But I imagined in my visualization, if I visualized one thing, it was never money. It was always that I'm walking. I can still do it. I did it for years. It brought me literally to my goals. It was gratefulness, actually the best frequency out there. And it was I see myself walking to a village where I just built 2 water foundations, and I see the people dancing from happiness. And then I was opening that like foundation, and everybody was grateful for the water. And I was just playing with the kids, and I was there actually with my dog. This is funny because I imagined I had a dog. And then
You
being
manifested
yeah,
it.
it's crazy. Yeah,
It's
it's
all
crazy. And I have
falling in place
friends around me, men and women, that I would be like doing business with or just connected with, because you doing a business, I do a business. We always have something to talk about. We're connected in a certain way. And I would see that and always feel a lot of emotions, and like good emotions, also tears of happiness. That I'm like, one day I will build water foundations and villages will drink the clean water, and I contributed to that, and that will make me sleep so well. I sleep amazing now already. Imagine if I do that. But that is something I want to build. I wrote it down. I want to build like 10,000 water foundations before I die. Will be more probably.
Where?
In third world countries. So can be literally in my own country, Iran. Can be in Africa for sure, because I know many places and I know people who build there.
Yeah.
But can be India. It can be in so many places. I just want to go there and just give, because I have such a good life. And the most beautiful thing you can do if you take good care of yourself, which I do the last few years. Before that, I was always giving, and not really enjoying what I got. And now I do that. I want to make the circle round and then give back, and that will give my soul peace, and I can die in full peace. Yeah, literally. That will like, then the circle's round. Then I did what I needed to do.
Do you think helping these kids comes from like the feeling that you maybe had a unstable situation as a kid? That's
so I can feel it. Yeah, I was like, as a kid, why do I write this? I mean, when I think back as being a kid, why do I write this down? And now I get like, but if you look at my life story, I'm helped by strangers. They created this life. And yes, I had to do a lot of stuff myself, but if they were not there, I wasn't here.
So that builds the foundation for you as well.
Yeah. So I think it's the most beautiful thing. And giving back can be the smallest thing. I give a lot of tip here, and I help Balinese people, and I buy their paddle rackets so they can fulfill their dream. That's their dream, actually. And I do that because my heart tells me to do it. It's not a rational thing. And also 90% of the time I don't. This is the first time I share, but I give tip and food to Grab drivers all the time. I just say, here, God bless you. And then I walk away. And I do it because strangers help you 14 years.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing example that you can ever have. What is 5 to 10 euros? What is 100 euros? What is doing a little thing compared to that? And I do it from a place of love. When I was younger, I was like, I need to do it to feel better. Now I do it like I feel very full and whole and good, and I have a good life. Very grateful with my people around me, my business, my clients, my health, my family, everything. I write it down often, and I really feel it also. Also, when I write down 1 million, I can feel it actually now. Sorry, guys. But yeah, giving back to me is really, I see something I saw a lot in my life. So for me, that's actually normal.
Yeah, good.
What does giving back mean to you? What is your mission?
Oh, my mission. I actually don't know.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
You're helping a lot of girls, like
both men and women.
Oh, men and women.
Our traits are mixed as well.
Yeah.
As your clients as well.
Exactly. Yeah, because mentally and emotionally and physically getting stronger made nobody weaker.
Definitely. And I think
Always helps.
Yeah, I think we're now in an environment and in a time frame like the year we're living in, that people are willing to work more on themselves,
Yes.
like mentally and physically, and getting a better lifestyle, being more healthy, and not just for them but as well for their environment.
Exactly.
So friends, family, partners. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's not just about you to get better, it's about everyone who you're
That's a great one.
with.
You're so right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Simba.
Thanks for watching. This is Simba. This is our director, and
This is new life.
this is new life.
Yeah.
This is how new life looks like. You want to say something, Simba? No, we want to leave.
No.
So we're gonna leave this
Yeah,
episode.
we're gonna walk with
See you
her
next
outside.
one. At the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wait. You want to say one word to the watcher? Say
Woof.
bye bye. See you next time. I want to go outside right now.